The biggest thing that impacted me in my journey was understanding that I was a liar and that I was stuck in a cycle. Stuck in a cycle that the things that were happening weren't going to change. You see, in high school, I got to this place where there was always this cyclical nature of girls in my life. People that I was getting admiration, validation from, feeling better about myself because like two were fighting over me, whatever it might be. And there was always this piece of starting a relationship and then starting the next one before the current relationship ended. I could feel it. I could sense it, like energetically. I'm like, this person's done with me. Like they're gonna break up with me soon. So let me make sure I've got the next person on the hook. And so there's always this cyclical effect that I was never without a person, never without supply, never without a partner, whatever it might be. There was always like not being alone. And I didn't want that. Like I didn't want to be alone. So like there's always people in the wings. Narcissists will keep other people, extra people in the wings to be able to take your place as soon as you leave. As soon as it gets too bad and you walk away, they've already prepped under the person saying how awful the relationship is, how abusive you are. And so as soon as you walk away, another person walks in right then and there. And you need to understand a narcissist is typically doing this so that they can continue to have this unlimited supply, unlimited response, unlimited connection to other people that's pumping and validating and building themselves up. So for me, this is what I developed. I developed early on in high school, continued this throughout college, and then it continued into marriage because I still wanted this supply, whatever it looked like, whatever it had. So it became this affair process of like going from one person to the next person to the next person, always trying to not be without someone. And what it was me actually just deciding, hey, I'm not going to show up as an honest person. So let me lie, let me cheat, let me hide, instead of just saying, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. But for me, struggling with something and that honesty, that vulnerability piece meant weakness, meant that I wasn't good enough, meant that I wasn't strong enough. Instead, let me find someone else who actually gets me, who actually connects with me. There was always these lies, these stories in my head to try to convince myself that I was right in doing what I was doing. You see, narcissists will adjust the fabric of their own reality to try to get what they want out of it, to try to be able to twist, well, this is okay because you made me do it. This is okay because you didn't show up this way. This is okay because you didn't give me the type of text that I want, or you didn't interact with me the way that I want. And so narcissists will try to twist anything they can to be able to shift the story. So for me, there was always this dynamic, this cycle that was always going on. The other piece that I mentioned early on was the piece of honesty. A narcissist is not honest. Is not honest to you, coworkers, boss, anybody. Narcissist just lies. Right? And you've seen this. You've seen this in the smallest lie. You've seen this in the biggest lie. You've seen it from the cheating to did he actually eat lunch or not? Like you've seen it in so many different ways. And it's a point where even if he sees at times that he lies, he doesn't even know why he lies because it's so much habitual habit that's in his life. It just happens. And so it's lie after lie after lie. So I got to a place where I finally realized that I was a liar. Now I knew to a certain level that I was a liar to other people. That didn't actually affect me that much. I didn't actually care because I didn't really care about other people. I wasn't changing for other people. There wasn't this piece of like, oh, other people, I should change. Like I didn't care. Okay. So there's this level of lies that I had to everybody else. But what confronted me the most was going through a challenge that I bring guys through now who are narcissistic, and going through this challenge and understanding, wait a second, I actually have lies about myself to me. That was a piece I didn't like because I'm like, I'm perfect, I'm great, like I'm a good person, all this stuff. But when that actually started to break down, I realized, wait a second, the mask I have with myself was starting to crack. I was starting to see through and be like, wait a second, I've been telling myself I'm a good person, so I feel better about myself, but now I'm realizing that's not true. Then I started realizing there's lies that are here that are going to entrap me in this cycle permanently. It's going to be a dead end rut that is going to keep happening over and over and over again. To the point that I even felt at a period of time that I was cursed. Like that was the thought. That's how I tried to justify it. I was like, maybe I'm just cursed. Like maybe this is something that's just going to be my blight in life and is going to continue to happen over and over and over again. And I'm never going to be able to stop it. And so without this piece of honesty, nothing will ever change. You need to understand as you're watching this, whether you're a narcissist or whether you're a survivor, you won't actually transform unless you have honesty. Like, unless you're able to be vulnerable about the situation that you're currently in or what you've just been through, you will not grow, you will not change, and you will not develop into the person you're called to be. It's impossible because you're building all of your healing on a bed of lies. You're building it on different stories. You're building on different ideas. You're building on different concepts, but not actual truth, not actual honest to goodness. This is what happened. This is what he said. This is what he didn't say. This is what she did. This is what he didn't. Like, whatever it might be. And so if you do not have this level of honesty, nothing will change. So realizing this and seeing this, because I always viewed honesty, vulnerability as the sign of weakness. But instead, understanding eventually that honesty and vulnerability are actually a sign of strength, because they mean I'm willing to take a look at the dark shit. I'm willing to take a look at the stuff that it's inside that I don't like. I'm willing to step into the darkness and say, hey, I'm going to learn how to navigate this, how to fight with this, how to actually work through the problem so I can get to the place where I am transforming, where I'm being a different version of who I've ever been, because how I'm showing up is different. I'm not stuck in this cycle. I'm not going through a loop of going to person. I'm not stuck in this cycle where I'm consistently lying, where I'm showing up, where I'm saying lies after lie after lie to others, but then to myself. But instead, I'm able to stand up honest, in truth, because I can look at the facts of the situation. I can disconnect from my feelings and the emotions to look at what are just the straight, cold, hard facts. What does that actually mean? How do I feel about that? How do I engage with that? Now, what do I need to change about it? Because when a person takes a look at their clear facts of their situation, then they can take a look at, like, how did I even get here? Like, what has been the thought process, the focus that's brought me to this place? Then we can actually look and say, how do we need to change that? What do we need to focus on next? Because if we don't actually change the focus, nothing changes. And you will continue to have the same cycle, the same rut over and over and over again. So when we look at this whole piece of, like, what impacted me, big piece of it was understanding that I lied. I lied to myself. The other aspect is understanding that the cycle was happening and it wouldn't change unless I actually changed it. The third piece was getting to a place of honesty. That if I don't have honesty in my life, there is no truth, there is no vulnerability that will actually activate true transformation. And if not, then I'm constantly modifying, changing things for other people, but never for me. If any of this resonates with you and you want to reach out for help, would love to invite you to go to rawmotivations.com. I meet with narcissists and I meet with survivors. I work with them individually in different groups to help people actually heal, grow, change, and develop to transform into the person that you're actually called to be. So check it out. Go to rawmotivations.com today.